have in the house Willie Jolly and his better half, Dee, talking about their latest book. Willie and Dee, welcome. Why don't you introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm Dee.
Dee Taylor Jolly, and I'm Dr. Willie Jolly, and I'm grateful that I have been able to make a living for the last quarter century or a little more, giving speeches and writing books and doing radio and television, and being able to go through this path with my bride, who we're newlyweds. June 28th, we'll celebrate 33 years of marriage.
Yes.
And so we're very grateful. And we tell people we've been married going on 33 years, haven't had an argument in over 30 years.
Unbelievable.
People don't believe it, but it's absolutely true. And some people say, well, you've never had an argument? I said, no, I didn't say that. We haven't had an argument in over 30 years. Those first few years were like World War III. And we really had some major arguments. We almost broke up one night in a major argument
over Chinese food.
And so, but we figured out from mentors and from life lessons and from getting mistakes that we could find some ways to stop arguing. And once we got those lessons, and so we've come up with, over the years, 10 tips, which we now call 10 secrets for helping married couples. And we wrote a book because we deal with the big three things that break up marriages: sex, money, and communication. The book is called Make Love, Make Money, and Make It Last. And the book is just taken off. We're so grateful. The problem is that most people are not willing to work on the marriage. And we found, as you know, 50% of marriages fail in divorce. And statistics show of the 50% that is left, over 40% of the people in that 50%, the second 50%, are miserable because they don't have strategies on how to make it work and make it last.
Here's an interesting observation from a dear friend of ours who has been going through challenges in his marriage. And in fact, they have separated, that the problems with his marriage impacted his business.
Yes.
And that seems to be a very common thread. If your relationship is not functioning properly, it is probably going to affect your business, particularly if you're entrepreneurs or in business for yourself, as we are.
Yeah, and I think that I know a little bit of Willie's background, and I'm really fascinated by the value system that he has inherited from his mom and his grandmother.
Yes.
Can you share that story and how you carried that nurturing image forward?
Her mother was an entrepreneur. Her mother came from the rural part of Virginia, went to Philadelphia and started a hair care business or a beauty salon. And my grandmother, she worked in that beauty salon till the day she died. She was 89 years old. She died. She worked that morning, did 3 heads of people, 89, sat down and died. She did.
Money in her pocket.
She had money in her smock that she died. And when they found her, she had just died. And she had a pocket full of money. When my grandmother left hundreds of thousands of dollars and a home paid for in Philadelphia to my mom and my brother and myself. But then my mom was a school teacher, and my mom had to put both of us through college. And she was committed to us going to college. So she would teach school during the day, but then in the evening, she would sell World Book Encyclopedia, Shackley vitamins. She would get all sorts of direct sales stuff that she would do and meet my friends, would come over to play. She said, "You got World Books, baby? If not, I'm coming to visit your family." And so we'd go over their home, and my mom made her extra money. She had multiple streams of income. So she'd make her extra money with selling World Book, with selling Shackley vitamins, and then renting a portion of the house out to graduate students at Howard University. So she had multiple streams of income. And I learned from there how important, one, to be an entrepreneur and to have your own. But even if you have a job, always have something on the side.
I want to remind people that Make Love, Make Money, and Make It Last is the title of the book that we are talking about. What is the most difficult challenge from your point of view?
I think money.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Money, because we're entrepreneurs. And money because my insecurity is always around having everything paid for. How many properties can I have that we can pay for in advance? What residual income? So while he's the big picture thinker, I'm always thinking other streams of income. So it really, love with Willie is very easy, particularly after we mastered how we need to communicate, which is you need to listen more than you need to talk. And you need to listen to understand, not listen so you can say what you were going to say to begin with.
What do you think was the lowest part in your journey so far?
There are a couple of real tough moments.
I would say it's personally raising of the children, and we are a blended family.
Yeah, that probably was the most challenging part is blending
and you're blending
families.
Cultures.
Yeah, blending
While
families.
we had the same belief system, how we saw raising children was very different. And because he brought in a daughter who had already had a different cultural experience, and me being probably more of a drill sergeant type personality, and I had been a school teacher too.
In 2003, I lost my mother. 25 days after my mother's death, my brother dropped dead of a heart attack. And so I had to handle that. And then 8 hours after my brother drops dead, her father dies. Mm-hmm. Same day. And at that moment, we had to make a decision. No,
who do you bury first?
Who do you bury first? Who do you focus on? She's going to say, I'm going to focus on my dad. You focus on your brother. But what we did was say, no, we will focus together. And we both focused first on my brother and then his service. And then we went down to Hampton, Virginia, and focused on her father. But many people are struggling with grief. And grief can overwhelm you. It can keep
grief,
you.
Depression, it just today, oh my goodness.
Shuts you down. Hope. Those are the circumstances, the difficult moments. And that is why we are grateful that we're able to share in this book 10 things. We talk about you should be friends first. We talk about the impact God has had on our life.
Or if you're not friends,
get to be friends.
Some strategies for becoming friends. We've had people who've read the book and said, you know what? I've been married for 14 years and then I've discovered, you know, we're not friends. What do we do?
Right. How to talk. Your marriage partner is not a mind reader. So you have to talk and you have to have open and honest conversation.
That can be difficult to learn how to do that.
And then how to have difficult conversations. And we tell people there are 4 F's. Be friendly. Always start off friendly. Don't be hostile. Be frank. Tell the truth. Be fair. Try and put yourself in their shoes for a moment when you're thinking about your situation. And finally, be focused on a positive result. Friendly, frank, fair, focused on a positive result. We have been amazed at the marriages that have been healed from this book. Now we got a mission because we believe God placed us in this place to share. Our goal is to save 1 million marriages in the next year and enhance 1 million more. And the ultimate goal might be to save tens of millions of marriages. And just to get these secrets to people, because most people we've found who ask us questions have little things that become big things because they don't know how to communicate. They don't know how to communicate.
That's a major issue.
And so these little things become huge problems and they end up with broken marriages, broken families. So we say, get the book, get 2 copies. You can only get it at jollymarriage.com at this point. So we want you
to get the free chapter. If nothing else, get the free chapter, which is how to agree to disagree.
Leave the drama with your mama. When you were a child, you acted like a child. You thought like a child. But when you become a grown-up, you must act like a grown-up. So when you leave your parents, you got to leave, cleave, and weave. Weave a new relationship and don't come with drama.
That means create your own culture for your new family.
Marriage is not just a love relationship. It's also a business relationship.
Yeah.
Because anytime there's intermingling of money, it becomes business. And when money's between two people or being spent by two people, it's business. So you got to deal with the love and the money. And we tell you the different systems that we've learned from successful marriages that work. We had a couple of callers just last week said, we're about to divorce. I said, calm down. Calm down. You know, in my book, Turn Setbacks into Greenbacks, chapter number 1 says, don't panic. Don't panic. Calm down. And I said, okay, calm down. Let's talk about it. And we talked and found out they've been married for 17 years, did not have a money system. They had no system.
But see, they come from different backgrounds. But when one says, I got that, I'm paying the bills, you don't need to know. What if you drop dead? What if you get hit by a bus? What if you're not? What?
Right.
And they've never really talked about it.
They never talked about it.
Wow.
17 years. They just spend. And he makes and she spends.
He makes a lot.
And she spends a lot.
She spends a lot.
So we encourage people. We're on a mission now. Save 1 million marriages in the next year and enhance 1 million more. And encourage people to work through the problems so that they can have wonderful marriages.
Mark, I want you to sort of summarize this with F words.
Fantastic family, faith-filled, fruitful. Okay, I'm out of it. You know what? All I can say is that, hey, this is a couple that the words and the wisdom of Willie and Dee Jolly, I mean, it goes beyond, but, you know, it's fueled by their faith.
Yes.
And the impact that they make, it truly is. And if you think about it, Dee mentioned it right up front. She said, your marriage, it's amazing how it impacts your professional life. She shared with the business person. That's why, you know, you may not be watching this. You go, hey, this really does impact you in your professional role. So jollymarriage.com is the website.